What I'm going to do now is to try to give you 5 takeaways. That is, 5 valuable things that are specific to you that you can pull out of these books and take away with you to the other things that you're studying and also to your own life. Number 1, the value of forgotten ideas. Some old ideas are not actually outdated. The entire period that we call the European Renaissance actually consisted of people rediscovering a bunch of ideas from the ancient world and giving them a new application. So, point number 1 is, some of these old ideas are actually valuable. Number 2, the value of making connections between ideas. There is less new under the sun than what you might think, and seeing the connections that tie one thinker to another in a tradition also gives you a measure of how far we've come on some problems and what problems seem to have heavily resisted the attempts of human beings to give them answers. The one that we've been considering from time to time through the course of this talk is one of those. What's the best sort of life for a human being? This is a question that you'll be asking yourself as you try to figure out things like, where am I going to get a job? Where am I going to live? Who am I going to marry? How am I going to raise my children? These are questions that are permanent aspects of the human condition. You're also going to discover that this is not the kind of question in which science has suddenly delivered a fantastic new answer. People have been asking and answering this question for a long time, and looking at some old thinkers can help you see the connections between the ways people originally asked these questions and the way we do, but also give you a perspective on what's been solved, which in some of these cases is very little, and what remains for you to consider and actually determine by the way that you live your own life. The third thing is that great books of the past are going to engage you with a number of great minds who don't share any of your assumptions, just as we were talking about with Plato. It's a different culture, a different morality, a different religion, a different politics. Call this the value of strangeness, which is not only an additional perspective on what you believe, but I'm going to claim is also a primary source of human creativity. The fourth value is, quite frankly, the value of building up your intellectual muscle power. You don't get to be a better wrestler by wrestling all the little kids in your neighborhood and beating them up and sending them home crying. If you're going to be a better wrestler, you're going to have to get your own nose bloody by going up against people who are bigger and stronger and better than you are. So finally, 5, there is the value of forming better judgments. Once you've encountered with the best of all time and wrestled them to the ground, you're going to be much better positioned to make your own good, discerning judgments about where to spend your precious time, without having past generations of experts to do the reading, you might say, ahead of you and post the signs, without knowing how a book is going to influence other books, and without yourself being able to figure what the views are going to be of this book in the future. You will be able to tell junk from gold, trash from something that's worthwhile. Why? Because you'll know when you're actually up against a real mind. You will have experienced the best that we know.